This is Agua de Florida. I've used it for a few years. It is a Peruvian floral water based on some Amazonian herbs and flora, essential oils, and it smells absolutely amazing. Its main purpose was during ceremonial practice, so rituals, especially with shamanic tribes. It's used quite often in retreats before you do any work on yourself. So it's kind of designed to get you in the zone, to be open and allow emotional trauma to be released from the body, any energies that are lingering, anything that's sort of unbalancing your entire system, all your chakras. This is something that has an effect to stimulate a readiness, basically, to be exposed, to be vulnerable, or to be uplifted and dissolve and take away any negative elements. So I really was quite keen on finding something very similar to this, because it's something that I have used for various practices throughout the years. I really wanted to find someone around the Glasgow area who had a small business and made something based on essential oils. I am an aromatherapist by trade, I guess you could say, but for a couple of years now I haven't practiced physical treatments. But you do take your knowledge with you when you've studied clinical aromatherapy, and you can use it on a daily basis in your own home. It's something that I've relied on in the way of diffusion through an aroma diffuser. I've used it to mix my own oils to apply to my feet. For various reasons. There's so many benefits of flowers and plant oils that you would need a good few hours to describe all of the effects. And people that don't feel that they've got belief in it quite often have a belief in Vicks Vapor Rub, which they swear by, they put on their feet and it stops coughing, and that's just a typical example. Vicks Vapor Rub, which is based on essential plant oils, has the properties which causes an antispasmodic effect basically on the respiratory system, so it lessens the spasms and the need to cough up. Some would do the complete opposite. Some oils are expectorant, which encourage you to cough and clear the mucus. And you've also got analgesic oils, which reduce pain, anti-inflammatory oils, so they can get deep within the muscle and help to stimulate the lymphatic drainage and get rid of inflammation. And most oils are all detoxifying as well. You've got some that help to sedate, so some of the base notes. And believe it or not, lavender is not the go-to one for sleep. Many people have, been by default selected lavender as that for the best one to tackle insomnia, for instance, or stress. It's really good for reducing tension. And if your lack of sleep or disturbed sleep is tied up to stress or tension, then of course treating the root cause is quite a good idea. But lavender is more of a middle to top note. So the middle and top notes are designed to stimulate. And although you've got that kind of relaxation effect, you perhaps want to go for a base note when it comes to feeling more grounded. And if you feel that you've been running on adrenaline and your emotions are up here and you're scraping the ceiling, then something that's got a base note to it that's going to really help center you and calm and rebalance and just bring you down into a state of calm. So with that in mind, this is what I found. This lady in Glasgow, in Bothwell I should say, which is pretty near to Glasgow, still Strathclyde. I'm showing my age now, I still go with the old council zones, the old territory of Strathclyde. So she is able to retail these. She's obviously passed all of the inspections and this is quality assured. So this has several essential oils in it, and it's a great alternative to the Agua de Florida if you want to support a small local Ouija business. This lady has concocted this and it can suit many individuals for various needs. It is called Rebalance and Harmonise, and I guess the whole idea behind this was to cater for hormonal endocrine rebalance. So those that are perhaps looking at changes in their their cycles, perhaps menopausal symptoms. This has been blended to help to really prompt a rebalance, and it's perfect for menopausal or perimenopausal women. But that aside, it can also be for anyone that's not perhaps suffering from any of those ailments, and someone that just really wants a really nice blend. It's got witch hazel in it and deionized water, which are like the base foundations for really mixing your oils to kind of bring them together. And it has organic rose oil, it has bergamot, which I love the smell of bergamot. Bergamot is used in Earl Grey tea, so that's a nice top note, and I find it so uplifting. Bergamot, definitely a more kind of citrusy, orangey vibe to it. It's nice for the summer. But also blended in this, we've got chamomile, which you all know chamomile is great for calming you as well. It has lavender, it has patchouli, and it's got frankincense and sage. Now patchouli is an old 60s, 70s special, so any geezers that used to rub patchouli oil on their leather jackets back in, you know, the times of Woodstock, and the bikers, they used to really have patchouli all over themselves. It was such a trend back in those times, and I know that when I've blended oils for gents in the past, that patchouli has taken them back to their youth, and I've got to say I love it as well, and it blends really well with some other base notes, and it's in the jasmine and patchouli candle, which is also part of the Ouija Wellbeing boxes. So patchouli's in that. Frankincense, gorgeous. Many people, it's reminiscent of going to church. The frankincense incense that is obviously used throughout the chapel as well. It brings back kind of childhood memories, but it's just so, it's grounding, but it brings clarity as well, I feel. And you've got sage. So sage, I found personally for me when I done case studies at college and using it with my clients, sage was very good for hormonal disruption, good for menopausal symptoms such as hot flushes, you know, extra perspiration. But also I found it really quite helpful in things like addictions or cravings. So someone who was trying to maybe stop smoking, or they were withdrawing from something in their life that had been a daily thing, then sage really helped a couple of my case studies. It almost repelled them from reaching for that cigarette. So that's just another one to put in there if you're wanting to hear how varied essential oils are, but it's all in one blend here. Now, just to give you an idea of some ways that you can use this, you can use it as an aura mist. Even if you're a wee bit skeptical about energy and how it works, I would really encourage you to read up on it, because there's more and more coming to light about energy and frequency and how everything interlinks and how we can affect things. But basically, our aura that surrounds our body and beyond, in some cases, some have huge auras. This is something that can help get you into the zone. So even if you're someone that doesn't know anything about essential oils, that doesn't know anything about Reiki or chakras or energy, this is something that's almost like an affirmation. So you can use it like a prompt. So I would quite often use it if I was in my car, say, and I'm going into an important meeting in the past, if I was going for an audition or a casting, or perhaps I was going into a situation where I felt a little bit more vulnerable and I knew that the energy was maybe going to be unpredictable. What I would do is if I was feeling that I wanted some help with communication, the throat chakra around here, I would just spray this zone just as a reminder that you have control over that area, that you can clear it, but you can also speak your truth with tact and with grace. With grace is an important thing, because it's your truth, it's not necessarily the truth. So that's what I've used it for in terms of coming into an energy, going into a room, going into a situation. You can also do the same thing for when you've mixed with different energies and you've felt that you haven't been able to maybe be more conscious about other people's energies and not being able to shield yourself from that. If you feel like you've been a wee bit polluted, then when you come out of that situation, you can spray your aura down so you can cleanse your aura. I would say that the majority of the time it's not the others that are toxic, it's more that we have been drawn and we have been triggered to their traits, and often we have to kind of do some work on ourselves to figure out exactly why we are triggered. So that just maybe helps you, because once you've done that, it's a reminder. I also wear this bracelet. It's the red thread, or the Hatha Bracelet, which has become quite popular in recent years. I've noticed some celebs started wearing them, but I like to wear this almost like a reminder. So when you even catch a glimpse of this, when you're driving, or you're even in a difficult situation, you're not sure how to respond, this can be enough to remind you that we're all linked with a little red thread. If that sounds crazy, take your time to think about it, because everything that we do causes a ripple effect, and that red thread can ripple through entire communities and nations. So that is quite helpful, to try and be more compassionate and to pause and reflect before you react. So you can use that in conjunction with your other things, your affirmations, your quotes. The other way that you could use this is as a perfume, basically. So I like to spray it on a scarf. I'm loving the houndstooth, as you can see, and red at the moment. I'm quite digging, maybe it's my festive vibe. Don't really celebrate Christmas, but yeah, I don't mind a little red vibrancy, so just spray it on to your scarf, and then it means it's there. And when you go about your day, you'll find that some people might ask you what perfume you're wearing, and actually you can tell them that it's pure, clean, organic oils, and it's made in Glasgow. And the geranium, I've got to say, most people, I don't really know anyone that doesn't like geranium. It's such a gorgeous scent. Geranium is used in likes of Turkish delight, so you can imagine the smell. And if you're wondering how you can cleanse your aura, it's something that I do after I've treated anyone. You just ask them to open their hands beforehand, so that you can spray your hands, quick rub together, and inhale, just to center you and prepare you for any treatment. But it's also useful to do that afterwards. So you can do the exact same thing, spray your hands, and then just visualize any residue of anything that's been lingering around the head zone, the third eye, the throat, because let's face it, most of us in this Western culture are bad for, saying too much or not saying enough. We can never really get it right. So yeah, it's just to kind of let go of stuff, and it's a bit hippy dippy to some, but put it this way, if it's going to be a placebo, it ain't a harmful placebo. If you're looking for upping your frequencies even more, you can listen to things like some of the music that I'm listening to at the moment. If you look for binaural beats on YouTube, binaural beats are frequencies. This one is actually 5 to 8 hertz. So you're looking at different vibrations, different frequencies within the music. It's a tone that's usually in the background that you can't really necessarily pick out unless you're looking for it. But these activate certain parts of the brain, and they can help to change the brain waves. And basically, it's great for stimulating healing. So you can get these for things like if you're wanting to be energized, you can get a different frequency. If you're looking for releasing negative feelings of guilt, feelings of shame, fear, you can get ones that would suit that. If you're looking to study, or if you're looking to be confident, and yeah, use an integrative approach, and I hope that it brings some more joy to your life. Remember that propaganda is the thief of joy. So even though you feel you need to keep track of things going on in the world, it isn't necessarily presented to you in a way which is useful, healthy and helpful for you and your community. So take things on board as they come to you, as they're intended to be presented to you rather than scrolled and searched for, and find your own way to contribute